Hello everyone, welcome back to another Scrapmingle where new meets old. We're working with October Afternoon Treasure Map, and so this plaid paper is what I'm using from that collection, and that ended up being the only piece of paper that I used. The background, this denim, is from the Chickadee Scrumptious collection, and the tags are from the crepe paper cut apart sheet, and I'm showing you some of the embellishments. And then I went back to my stash and I found this little tag from My Mind's Eye, and I've had it in my stash for a long time and have wanted to use it, but it's just never really fit into any of the papers or anything that I had. And I was looking for something else to embellish this page, and I ran across it and thought it was perfect. The colors match really well. I'm going to trim it down around the blue on the outside in the end, but the colors of the fonts match really well, and it definitely matches in with my pictures. These pictures are photos of my son when he was 2, so a very long time ago. And he's just a really mischief little boy, but incredibly handsome. And these photos just kind of showed all of the different sides of his personality. So that little tag that I've been hanging on to was just the perfect little piece for this. And it's going to just work as my title of my layout. I decided to go ahead and ink all of the edges of my paper, and so I'm using the Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. And like I said, this plaid piece of paper is the only piece of paper from the October Afternoon collection. And if you remember on this go around, I only had 3 sheets of paper and 2 of them had already been cut into, so I don't have a lot of the original paper to work with anyways. But I knew when I pulled it out that that denim paper was going to go really well with this plaid side. And so I trimmed off just a little bit of the plaid since it was going to go up behind all of these tags, and I've kept it so I still have one piece left because I also pulled out that cloud paper before, if you've watched the intro to this, that I still want to use. So hopefully I can still get that into a layout. So this cut apart sheet was all these different tags in, like, I think there was about 2 or 3 different sizes of tags on it. And I started cutting them apart and was just going to use a couple on the layout. And then the more I looked at them, I decided to try my hand at putting a whole row of them to create a border on a page. And it's the first time I think I've ever done this where I've put so many tags and stuff on a layout. But I really like how it turned out. I like all the pops of color. I used that one bright red tag, but I tucked it up underneath that main photo so there's not so much of it showing because it is quite a bit brighter and more dominant than the other colors. But I wanted to pull in just pops of red to kind of bounce off the photos because my son's wearing a little red shirt. And so most of the tags had these little red the little circles where the hole goes through, and so I tried to place those at the top and at the bottom, and then that red tag in the center, and then I'm going to put this tag at the top left, and it has a little red piece too. And so I strategically placed those tags that way, and then I ended up kind of offsetting them. Then when I had this, I had a gray, a really light gray border strip kind of going along the edge to neaten up that edge and to create another border to separate that because it was kind of all running together. But once I put my photos over the top of it, I decided I really didn't like that gray, and so I was pulling out the other papers from the collection that I had and then things from my stash trying to figure out, and I really thought that dark wood is what I would go for. But then I found this red strip from the crepe paper collection, and I really liked that red pop again, just to bring out the photos of my son and his shirt in the photos. And so I ended up just going ahead and cutting it off. I'm going to ink it up, and it ended up kind of splitting apart because it's the type that has the holes punched in it. So that was okay because it's going to go behind the photos. So I just inked it up, and then I'm just putting it along the top of these tags just to neaten up that edge and create that division. And so that's going to help kind of guide your eye down as well. Now the photos, since they were quite old and I didn't really use my zoom much back then, I cropped these down fairly small. And so the large photo is about a 4 by maybe 5 inches or so, and then I had a 3 by 3 and then probably about a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 photo. And I went ahead and matted those on that blue paper. And then I had that tag laying there, and so when I was kind of laying them around trying to decide where they were going to go, I thought it would look cute if I pop dotted the main photo up to bring it even more into focus. And so I will go ahead and put pop dots on it. Then I decided the little smaller 2-inch photo that's on the right hand side, I'm going to put pop dots on it, and I'm also going to put pop dots on that tag from my mind's eye. And then that medium-sized photo is going to go flat against the page. And the tag that's on the upper left, I also put pop dots on it. So I did that just to kind of create movement and fluidity throughout the layout and stuff, because there's so much going on with the tags. But then on the plaid part, there's a lot of empty space on that left-hand side in the bottom and that corner, which I'm going to put my journaling through there, but I haven't done it yet. I want to write it out and think more about what I'm going to put, and so I haven't done the journaling yet. I'm going to do that in just a little bit. But by pop dotting parts of those and tucking the photos in and out of each other, that's really going to help with the flow of the page and just some interest, just bringing some interest to the page. So then I had the embellishments that I showed you in the intro video. They're from the Pink Paisley Atlas, the puffy stickers and the ephemera pack. I used a lot of those. And what I did was these clear transparency ones, they have this plastic on them, so make sure you pull those off if you didn't know that. And I'm just putting those on top of some of the tags because I wanted just a little bit more interest over there. And so this top one that I just did says, live for the moments you can't put into words. And then I have let's go on the top one. And then at the bottom it says I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. And then I had these puffy stickers and I had some stars. And so I was wanting to kind of put the stars throughout because I had that dark navy blue star that was in the transparency part. And I wanted to repeat some of the dark blue, so I ended up putting it over the O in that tag for boy. And so then I felt like I needed stars elsewhere. And so this little puffy sheet had some puffy stickers, and I tried using those, but the colors were just a little bit off. They were really light, and they weren't showing up really well. So you'll see me here in a second. I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. This one is the 7 paper puffy stickers, and so it has some darker stars, and so I go through and kind of swap those out for the ones that I can find on there. So the ones that are even lighter, like the one I'm kind of playing with there, it's white, but it has a black line drawn star onto the top of it. So I'm going to end up using it on the tag, and then the darker ones that are, some of them kind of look black and some look kind of navy blue. I'm going to use those onto the other tags. And so I just felt like that looked a lot better than those lighter ones that were with the Atlas collection. I did leave, I think, well, no, I didn't. No, all the stars ended up coming from the 7 paper. Then I went to my jar with my twine, and I wanted to put some into the tags, and I was trying to decide whether it was going to work to do the thicker twine, because that's a lot of tags and a lot of twine, and it's going to go off of the page. But I did go ahead. I liked the thickness of this thicker twine, and so I did do a few of those. Some of them I doubled over and looped through like this, and some I just put one string through the hole and then used my mini stapler to staple it. And then a few of them I went to that thinner twine that's up at the top of the screen there and tied in. Just so there would be different textures and it wasn't totally overtaking the layout. If I'd used all the really thick twine, I don't think it would have looked really good. It would have looked really distracting. But in the end, I liked it with the both. And actually, I'm going to swap out from like the bottom one, I end up, after I get them all on there, I swapped that one out for a thin one. So some of those change up just a little bit by the time I get it all tied on, but I kind of break away so you don't have to sit and watch me tie all of those loops. Then I had a little piece of scrap of that blue paper, and I wanted something just a little bit more off the side of that tag just to bring your eye more across into those photos. But that's pretty much all that's on this layout. And I will tell you, the transparent thing that's at the top that says live in the moment, I ended up taking that off in the final picture. I just felt like that was a little bit too much. And then I just took my journaling pen here and I outlined. I've been doing this quite a bit here lately. I think it's my new inking or distressing my edges, because I used to hardly ever do a layout without distressing the edges of my paper and my photos, and I've kind of gotten away from it. But now I'm using my journaling pen, so I think I've just swapped techniques. But I just cut it real quick and real loose, so it's kind of a squiggle line. I went around all the tags and then the outside of the plaid paper. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this. I still have enough paper to get another layout done, so I'm going to try to go back to my desk this evening and get another Scrapmingle done up for next week. So thanks so much for all of the feedback. I will have still shots here and close-ups so that you can see those. There's always more information on my blog at tiggerscrapplace.blogspot.com with close-ups and links to products if there's anything still current that you can find. Thanks so much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you subscribe, and we will see you real soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.